Alright everyone, so I just wanted to go over some of the reasons as to why I got this car specifically. So obviously for my GLI, like the way I had everything set up, it was a damn good car. It was really good. It was super fun. It literally hit all the boxes for me. You know, I got about 650 to 700 a tank. It was smooth, reliable. I had no issues with it. You know, it was really hard to find another car. Some of the other cars that I looked for were actually the Kia Stinger. I looked at um, I looked at the M2 actually. I looked at the Challenger. I looked at a Mustang. I looked at the Veloster N, and mostly all those cars, either the new one is getting updated or it just wasn't heavy, right? So originally for my BMW, like I always wanted a BMW 440i Grand Coupe. So the reason why I like the coupes is these frameless doors. I don't know why. I know it's gonna be a pain in the winter, but the way that this looks, especially when you roll down the windows, it's just so nice. It's super nice. Um, so the yeah, so I had originally driven a 440i Grand Coupe, and I guess like I was really excited for this car. I've driven like a 430i, but I've never driven a 440i Grand Coupe specifically. So a lot of people said that it is more heavier, especially the back end. It's like a bit unbalanced, as you don't get the exact 50-50 weight ratio. So I drove it, and the main issues with what I had with the car was the power was good and everything, but it was just too heavy. It was too big for me, especially coming from like a GLI. And then the other thing was it was way too high. Like it literally felt like I was driving an SUV. So that kind of, you know, it didn't make it. I was kind of really disappointed, to be honest, because I like the 340i. It had a pretty good weight, but the 440 was just really heavy, and the steering, as you guys know, those generations had that the mid on center feel was really bad, so I didn't like that either. So then I was like, okay, let me go drive an M340i. So I drove an M340i, and that car was super nice. I really liked it. Like honestly, like if I had the money, the main thing for the reason why I didn't get that car was the money. It was another like 10 to 15k more, because I didn't want to get just a base BMW. I wanted to get something with all the bells and whistles, because that's how you get a proper BMW, right? I'll make another video, but basically the proper way to get a BMW is you got to get premium package enhanced, you got to get M Sport, you got to get all the goodies, right? That's when it's a real BMW, right? Otherwise you're just getting the basic necessities. So yeah, M340i was good because what I wanted ultimately was a car that, like, if I step out, like I wanted to kind of dance a little bit, and the M340i was able to do that because it had the LSD. So this car doesn't have an LSD, so that was, but I got something in the plans for that. Um, the Kia Stinger was way too heavy. It didn't feel, it was fast, don't get me wrong, it was smooth and everything, but the sound and everything, I don't know, like I prefer inline six sound over V6 sound. V6 sounds, it just literally sounds like a Challenger to me, right? Challenger V6 sound. It doesn't sound that good, to be honest. And then yeah, so basically the salesman was like, okay, if you like lightweight cars and you like the B58, why don't you try the M240i, right? I honestly had no intentions of it. I used to actually call this car ugly, and like I was like, oh, it's a fake M2 and all this stuff. I hated it, to be honest. But I think the main thing about this car is you get the 50-50 weight ratio. And then because of the coupe, the most interesting thing is that you're sitting right in the middle of the car. And when you're going around in a corner, I'm telling you, like, it feels so different. It felt really good. So when I drove this car, like the punch, the 0 to 60, like everything, cornering, like everyone was complaining about the on-center feel, but this car, the on-center feel is really good. Even in comfort mode, when I make a little bit of adjustment, I can feel every single thing that the steering is doing. Sport mode gets even better. I can, like a little adjustment, I can feel exactly what it's doing. It's you know, a little less numb. But yeah, so I was originally going to get like I found like a 2020 M240i with the M Performance exhaust. That honestly, I wish I would have got that car with an M Performance exhaust, but that was an essential package, and I kind of wanted the enhanced package, which had the Harman Kardon, wireless car charging and stuff like that. I felt that that was more good for like resale, and then honestly at the end of the day it's just an exhaust, which I'm probably going to swap out. But it's just the fact that the M Performance exhaust is like from factory. It's like it's all in your VIN. It's all under warranty, and it's like a titanium exhaust, so it's a pretty good option if you can find one. Yeah, so as far as like some of the other like, so obviously I looked at an M2 as well. The problem with the M2 is I first of all, I hate black interior cars. The GLI, it only had black interior. And I specifically hate black interior BMWs because in a BMW, the interior is like they call it like Nevada leather or Dakota leather, depending on which car you get. And it's like a matte finish, and the black, like over time, it just looks really disgusting, to be honest. So on the M2, you can only get black interiors, which kind of sucks. So interior was number one. Number two was the fact that I needed all-wheel drive because this is ultimately like my daily driver. So we have Canadian winters, and I need something with all-wheel drive to drive. I know you can daily drive or rear-wheel drive, but honestly, I'd rather have more fun in an all-wheel drive car. Especially because one of the things that I felt that was lacking in my GLI was the fact that, you know, say if I step out, like if I stop at a red light and I take right on a corner and I want to floor it, what'll happen is I'll bog, I'll spin, and then I put the power. Versus this car, it's like instant power. It literally feels like a Tesla, like it just rips. And I kind of like that, right? Because I know like the GLI and stuff, it's good for roll race and stuff, but me personally, I'm all about like 0 to 100, right? Like I'm all about acceleration because that's technically the only thing you can do legally, right? You can go 0 to 60, you can go 0 to 80, 0 to 100. Above 100, you're just gonna go to jail, so I don't see the point in that is. But also this car, like the top end is like, it's even with my JB4 GLI, this thing rips. Like I've counted basically like my 0 to 140, my 100 to 140 when my GLI was stock was about like 8 to 10 seconds. When I got the JB4, I brought it down to like 7, 8. This is like 3 or 4 seconds. It's absolutely insane, like how much top end this car has. But as far as like, you know, the rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, obviously rear wheel drive is more fun. And I do have something coming for that. I'm planning to do Xdelete, which I've seen my friend, a local owner, he had an M235i with Xdrive delete. And basically you can make your car rear wheel drive, and that he literally did a slide in front of me, and that was it. I was like, I need this. It's only $200. I don't think it would void the warranty because you won't really necessarily see that you flashed it. All you're doing is technically you're just turning off the power and the front wheels and you're just putting it all in the back. So that should be interesting. But yeah, so I hope you guys kind of see the rationale as to why I changed from a GLI to M240i. I've already convinced another owner to go from a GTI to M240i. Honestly, this car, like for what it is, like, so the other thing is, other car I looked at, it was a Supra, right? But the problem with the Supra is only 2 doors, only 2 seats, right? Which this has, like, even though the back seats are small, I can still fit like my family if I wanted to, here and there. And rear wheel drive, right? So in Canada, like for me, all wheel drive was a must. Even on front wheel drive, it was honestly getting sketchy to a point. And you just can't have like drift season, right? You just can't like have fun. So hopefully you guys should see more content with this car. Let me know what you guys want to see. Ultimately, like, you know, I really do want to be different with this car. I don't want to just be like all the typical BMO owners where you just get like M Performance, this, that. Like, I want to try some new stuff. I want to try stuff that you guys are interested in. And let's make this a unique build. Thank you, and stay tuned for more content.